the generative AI using so-called large language models to create content. There's other types of generative AI as well, our stable diffusion models and things like that. But from the context of large language models, essentially what we do is we take a large corpus of information, which essentially that's the internet. It's everything you've ever read, everything you've seen, every Wikipedia article, as much data as you can get your hands on, and you kind of just feed it through the model. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to teach the model to predict the next word. That's as simple as that. And in order to predict the next word, you really have to know everything. So if the next word of a description of physics, in order to predict what the next word is, you really have to have some understanding of physical processes, software development. You're not going to be able to write a working program if you don't have some knowledge of how programming works. So all that information is in these large language models. And that's why we call them generative models, because what they're doing is they're generating the next token. They're generating content. Now, previously to this, most AI was revolved around prediction, right? So you would feed some information in and the model would predict or kind of decide or classify that information. It would try to tell you what the time series was going to look like, next week versus this week, or it was trying to predict what would happen with stock prices or anything that you could kind of imagine you might want a prediction for. Whereas, in these new models, AI starts to talk to us. This is really interesting.